Hello everyone, my name is Nathan, and today it's time for another episode of Scrap Mechanic. Jeez, I just freaking love this game. Today it's actually time to establish our own base. Of course, I don't want to stay here in the mechanics workshop. I want to set up my own thing, and so I started packing. Check this out, everything I own is currently attached to this car. It is crazy. There's something I figured out in between the episodes, and that is you can actually directly hook up your seat to a controller, which allows you to use W and S. So instead of using a switch and the ability to turn the wheels like this in order to go backwards, we can simply hook it up to the controllers and use W in order to move forwards and S in order to move backwards. Because it's simply looping backwards through the loop. I have to say this is 100 times more handy. But there we go, it is time to move to our new base. There's just something I wonder. Can I attach this thing to my vehicle? That's the last thing I need. Hook you up right there. Okay, that's heavy, that's heavy. Maybe we can get it more centralized. No, not really. Okay, let's try this out. Can I still move? Okay, no, well, I mean, if we are really careful about it, right? Maybe it would be better to do 2 trips. I mean, I've already attached quite a few things to this vehicle, especially chests. Everything is full now. Okay, no, that's not gonna work. I think what we have to do is attach this to the front, maybe. Here? No, it's gonna tip over. Can I drive now without making too many accidents? Okay, it's working! In between the episodes, I scouted ahead a little. Okay. I give up. This is not gonna work. I will have to come back to the craftbot. For now, I'm just gonna put him here in the middle of the road. We're gonna make our way to the new location. All I have to do is follow the road, and there's gonna be a bit that is extremely close to the water with an open field and building space. Ooh, nice. A couple of chests respawned. That actually happened from yesterday. Well, yesterday in-game, I mean. I've just been here. Actually, thinking about it, I might have spent a couple of in-game days sorting my materials. Wait, is this really it? It might be on the other side of the burning forest, but we essentially have everything nearby at this place. Okay, here we are. I think it was this half island that I wanted to designate as my base, but looking at this, I can just envision a really cool base over at this beach. And once we really get it going, the base, we can combine it with this humongous tree. I think that is the better idea. Let me drive over there. Yeah, there we go. I can actually see this working, and we can use the terrain to our advantage, kind of make a house with several levels. So going up a stair maybe here, and then we can have rooms against this wall. The question is just, where would we set up the farm? Well, I can see this happening. Let's designate this place as our new base. In order to do that, we're just gonna bring over our materials, and now I'm gonna... I meant to say I'm gonna unpack and start making a floor, kind of, you know, lay out the basic pattern, and we're gonna use all the materials available to us. I'm gonna start with the crates maybe. We will need to collect more crates, but there are also all these shack walls that I can make use of. I made use of the shack walls immediately and started building a pier. I also used the cardboard boxes to make sure my base is securely snapped into the terrain. I figured it's not important whatever we have below our ground layer. In this instance, it's just a wooden floor, and I didn't want to waste the wood. I also wanted to set up some fencing for the pier, so I decided to go with a sidewall using the scrap metal that we found. Next up, it was time to set up a staircase in order to go to the next level of the terrain. I also did that using cardboard boxes, and then I set up a layer of wood above them. The next step was making use of the materials that we already gathered. I decided to go with a bunch of crates, had to rearrange them a couple of times because the grass was poking through. I also started sorting out my materials, everything that we had on board of our trusty Explorer truck. Next, I made my way all the way back to the craftbot that we left on the road. I put the craftbot on my Explorer, no problemo. The driving went smooth. Once at the base, I just plotted it down to have access to crafting. In order to conserve materials, I used the metal sheets we gathered from the scrap village, and I tried to be a little bit creative to make the flooring nice and interesting once it is done. The center I just filled up with wood. I used up all my wood, so naturally I had to gather a bit more. But this allowed me to actually go ahead and finish the flooring. Obviously I had to craft a whole bunch of materials in order to achieve that. You won't believe how many materials you go through. Of course, the blocks are very small. But yeah, essentially I tried to make it nice looking with a bunch of pillars and everything, worked the day and night, cut down more and more trees. It was a crazy adventure. I decided to save even more on wood and use the scrap metal for certain parts of my flooring. If we don't like it over time, obviously we can still exchange it once we get more materials going. But I wanted to keep the theme a little bit. I think for this outer part, a little bit of a scrap theme going towards the pier and the lake could actually be very charming. So I decided to outline our future door that's gonna go here. Finally, I had enough wood to wrap up the staircase. I also tried to further decorate and envision what the outside is gonna look, at least at the entrance. Towards the other side it's probably gonna be expanded. During the night, I decided to drive back to the mechanics workshop in order to craft a few things. The first thing I needed was a refinery bot, so I brought the necessary ingredients and crafted one. I put it on my truck, no problemo, put the Explorer into first gear and we drove off into the distance. It was quite a smooth ride. Once I brought back the refinery bot to my new base, I went back to the mechanics garage and carefully parked my truck. My goal was to pick up all the materials that I still had laying around here. I wanted to take everything with me. Another very important thing to craft here was the resource collector. That is gonna help me out a lot when it comes to automation. I put the resource collector on my truck and made my way back to camp without an incident. No, but seriously, with a little bit of counterweight, the truck was actually drivable. Finally, I placed down my automatic refinery setup with the resource collector on the left and the refinery on the right, and it actually worked perfectly. The only thing that was missing was a chest attached to the right slot, the export slot right there, so we can refine all the materials. Naturally, a little bit of decoration, you know, just to feel more at home wouldn't hurt. Next up, I took my truck to the nearest forest and strategically parked it in a convenient way. I knocked down a whole bunch of trees and naturally it was time to put the logs unrefined on my truck, just like that. It was absolutely glorious because the refining part is the most boring part, you just wait around. Once I loaded up all the logs, I made my way back and attempted to drive the truck directly into the resource collector. Unfortunately, that didn't work, so I decided to take a little nap. I had to do the leg work myself, so I just picked up the logs and put them in the resource collector. But then I had a much better idea. Why not get into the vehicle and try it again? There we go. And that's the story of how I refined my materials. Alright, beautiful. We have established the beginning of our base. Obviously, there's a lot of chaos still going on and it is very small. All of these machines are not at their final place. This here is basically just gonna be a hallway towards the exit here. I think we can already add a little bit of functionality. I mean, after all, this is scrap mechanic. I installed a controller right here and upgraded it one time, so it has 2 slots. I also still had 2 bearings lying around and then I crafted these 2 sensors. Currently I'm all out of metal, so let's hope I'm not gonna use anything else. Actually, I'm gonna need 2 more sensors, but that's also something we can add in the future. What I would like to have here is an automatic double door. Let's go ahead and remove this tile here. I'm gonna add the sensor. It should be pointing upwards. Something like this. And if I walk above it, it is gonna activate for a very short time. What we want it to do is to be a switch. And since we walk above it, we don't have to upgrade this one. We can remain at a range of 1. I'm still gonna up it to 2 just to be secure. Once I have the material, I'm gonna also place a sensor here so I can be a little less careful how I walk. The other sensor is probably gonna go here. I would say approximately this step should do the trick. This sensor I'm gonna set to a range of 4 and it should also be a switch because it's gonna activate the same mechanism, if that is even possible. Well, let's set up the mechanism maybe. We are gonna need a bearing. Let me think. I want to have a frame and then a wooden inside. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's set up the bearing right here and there. I wonder if we could also set up an additional bearing at the bottom, if that is even necessary. But if we do, that means we have to upgrade the controller. Well, speaking about the controller, let's hook it up to the bearings. I want the doors to open towards the inside, so they should turn this way, and that is already correct. Darn it, I only have one metal block, and maybe we can use the scrap metal actually to do that. It should just have a different look. I'm not really going for strength or anything. Actually, thinking about it, we wouldn't need to hook it up to the controller. Just a bearing hooked up to this would stabilize it, and it would turn with the upper bearing hooked up to the controller. Oh crap, for the bearings I'm gonna need more metal still. Maybe we can find a couple of robots. Shouldn't be too hard technically. Hello buddy, I'm gonna need your metal please. Stay still, thank you. I'm gonna give you a good beating. Uh-oh, that's not good. Stay away from me. Oh, hello buddy. I have water for you too. Don't worry, take a little beating. That poor cow. I'm afraid it's too late for her. Okay, now we have 2 robots on our tail. I'm not sure, well, that is not good. Did he just roll down the stairs? Did I see that right? You take that and take a beating before the other robot comes. Okay, well, actually we're fine. Oh, there are 3. Okay. I have some more water. There you go. And take the beating. This is going fine. This guy seems to be stuck. Can I trick you? I mean, it's just one guy. I don't want to waste my water for you. Okay, maybe I want to waste... I think he fell down again. Wow, this guy just punched me real good. Wait. I want to take this easy. Hello? Anybody home? Still? I think they all came after me. Right. So now we can do some looting. Okay, looks like there's just one robot up here. Hello? Oh no! How did you do that? Say you're sorry, you're so gonna regret this. You don't outmaneuver Nathan. And here we are on the top, we get all the rewards. This was actually really worth it. And I even got what I came for in terms of metal. Home sweet home, where were we? I think I wanted to craft 2 more bearings. So let's go ahead and do that. 1, 2. I also needed a whole bunch of metal blocks. Let's just craft as many as we can. Bearing right here. And another one right there. Now, in theory, I should be able to attach a block here and here. Then we are going to hook this together. At the moment, it's 2 separate parts, but if I can I weld this together? Maybe not. I wonder, could I extend this and attach it to the bearing? No, now it's not attached to the bearing at all. I'm sure there is a way to do that. I might have to look that up very briefly. Give me that. Let's also set up the other side. I mean, if it's not possible, we can just hook up one bearing on the top. Since this block is attached to a bearing on the top, if I place the block against this block, then it's not going to be attached to the frame. And that's exactly what we want to see in our case. Dude, I still did not collect enough metal blocks. This is insane. We're gonna have to do a lot of grinding to make this work. But there we go. That is gonna be my door. Or do we want to have glass doors? I mean, we could make a wooden frame and glass doors. That would be the better option in our case. There we go. 2 door frames and glass. I don't have enough glass. Man, what do we need for glass? Can I even produce that? Probably not in this machine. No. Okay, in this case, we're gonna make or attempt to make a nice pattern with the wood and the glass. There we go. That's kind of working out. You know, it's a nice wooden glass door. Yeah, you know, why not? Well then, first setting 0 degrees, second setting probably 90 degrees, maybe a little bit more. Let's go 105. Same thing right here, 105. We're gonna do this fast and not in a loop. No sir. And since it's activated with a switch functionality, hopefully the door is gonna remain open. Let's hook up the sensor to the controller. And we also want to hook up this sensor to the controller. Oh, actually I need to upgrade this controller as well. No, hold on. I'm a dummy. This is of course just a sensor. I should be able to hook this up. No! Okay, this is very disappointing. We might need a logic gate or so for this to work. This is actually realistic. I just need to find a bunch of clamps. Maybe we're lucky and some of them have respawned. No. It looks very barren here. Yeah. I found one clam. If I'm not mistaken, I have 2 at the base as well. Beautiful. Craft some glue, and then we're gonna craft a logic gate. It needs to be an OR gate, so we can activate it with either sensor. Now, we can actually already see this working. Nice. This is great. I also like that it's a little bit more than 90 degrees, and as soon as we step over it again, it's gonna, deactivate and close. Maybe I can attach the logic gate somehow below this. Use. It should be an OR gate. Then we are gonna hook up this sensor, and you should not be hooked up to the controller anymore. And also hook up this sensor to the OR gate. The OR gate should then go to the controller. Hold on. I think I'm making a thinking mistake. If it's just an OR gate, it's not gonna function properly, because now if we activate the thing, it's gonna open. If we go across it, it's gonna close. So that is working. However, if I activate this here as well, you can see the gate is not closing. So what we probably want is an XOR or an XNOR gate. Let's see, I can open this and close this. Okay, this is working from this side. Now I go outside and it's closing. So yeah, it's the XOR gate that we needed. Nice. Okay, now it's just, a little bit slow. Maybe we want to upgrade the controller once more, but let's close this off. And all I'm gonna need is an upgrade for the controller and 2 additional sensors to make this, a little more precise, and I don't have to walk exactly across it. Another little something we can do before we wrap up the episode is finally set up a farm. I'm kind of sick of dying out of hunger, and I figured out that there is a certain amount of farming you can do without the robots bothering you too much. I want to set up a nice defensive and automatic farm, but until then we have to think small. Okay, it looks as though at the moment we have 5 different types of seeds. We are gonna plant those 5 seeds. Let's actually do it a little bit over here. 5, and I'm actually gonna do the 5th one here because I'm gonna add a couple more. I think we can do approximately 7 without the robots being interested in us. So there we go, that would be 7. And plant, gonna plant you, plant one of you, and then plant 3 blueberries. Blueberries I like because they give an equal amount of food and water. Next step is probably to water these plants. So let's go ahead and fill up our buckets. Okay, maybe I'm wrong about this. Looks like the robots are gonna attack still. Well, in this case, it doesn't really matter. Let's plant and water this stuff. Yeah, this definitely needs to be automated. It's incredibly agonizing. I have to say, I really like it. I mean, I have to wait a little bit, but it's gonna be beautiful. Just imagine once we have a roof and everything behind this is gonna be part of the building, all mushed together with this tree. I see a beautiful future ahead of this. I really hope this series is gonna work on my channel. Well guys, I really wanted to wrap up this episode with our first invasion, but after reloading the game, the timer actually stopped. So it looks as though I can grow 8 things without the robots actually attacking. And if they do, I'm gonna show you that in the next episode. In between the episodes, I might collect a couple of materials, but other than that, we can continue right at this point. It's now time to build a couple of vehicles that are gonna help with the resource collection. But with that out of the way, thank you so much for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed it, have a great time and see you soon. Bye bye.